Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. While we wait for my moderator to join us, I am so excited to present to you guys today. I hope everybody's having a fabulous, fabulous weekend, right? All right, so I'm going to cover today some of the questions that you guys have sent to me and sent to me via email, right? One of the questions that people often ask me is, should I buy versus should I rent, right? And the question to that is, you should definitely purchase a home, because home ownership leads to many, many, many opportunities, right? So when you own a home, you have so many tax benefits and so many write-offs and so many opportunities that renting just does not provide. So I always say home ownership gives you many, many incentives, and you get to leave a legacy for your family. I was working with Jacinta the other day, and she was or is the first person in her family to own a home. So she is the first homeowner out from her great 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 grandmother, grandparents, her mom, her uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews. She's the first one in her family to own a home. So that's how much home ownership can impact you guys. All right. Another question that I got was, how do I know when I'm ready to buy? Right? How do I know when I'm ready to purchase a home? And the answer to that is, you know, after you've met with a loan officer, right? After you've had a conversation with a qualified lender that is able to sit down with you and formalize a plan that is catered specifically to your goals and to your budget, right? A lot of people kind of they tell me what the price of the home is, ideally that they want, but what they tend not to focus on is the payment, right? So you always want to lead with your mortgage payments first. So I like to say, you live in the payments. You don't live in the price of the home. So always lead with what your mortgage payment is going to be. So that would be my advice on that. Always speak to at least 2 to 3 loan officers, right? Because you want to get a different perspective. You want to get a different opinion as to what each loan officer is able to provide for you. And you also want to make sure that the person is available at a time that's convenient for you, because some of the loan officers, and I love them because, you know, I was also a loan officer, and I know firsthand that some of them stick to the 9 to 5, and in our business that may not necessarily work. So always speak to a loan officer whose schedule caters to your schedule as well. Does my credit score impact my ability to buy? Yes, it does. The same way your credit score impacts your ability to purchase a vehicle or furniture, or the ability for you to apply for credit cards. Yes, your credit score will impact your ability to buy. The next question I got was, well, what does my credit score have to be? So credit scores range from 450 up to 850. So obviously, well, maybe not so obvious, but the higher the credit score, the better your chances of being able to purchase a home. And sometimes it takes time. I'll be honest with you. There are many home buyers, and I know in the real estate world, we kind of showcase the people that are able to, to purchase right now, and we show them getting their keys, and they're all excited. But the truth is, sometimes it takes time. It can take months, and sometimes it takes years for you to get from point A to point B, because you have to work on the credit. You have to work on your down payment, right? You have to build what it is that you need to build in order to be able to qualify. So, perfect example, I worked with a young couple who started their journey 3 years ago. And you know what we were able to do is just formulate a plan for them to build their credit score to the point where they went from the low 500s up to 700. Now, was that overnight? No. Did it take some time? Yes. Were they frustrated? Yes. Was I frustrated? Never. Never, 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 because I know it takes time. And sometimes the misconception is, you know what, you're ready to buy a home and everything is going to work out the first time, and that's just not the case. Sometimes it does take time. It's for them, it took 3 years. And they had a journey because they went from, you know, losing a vehicle, a repossession. They went through some challenges and they just weren't able to be in a position to purchase, right? So sometimes it takes time. What's another question? The next question that I have is, how much do I need for a down payment? All right, now that's a good one. They're all good ones. But how much do I need for a down payment? So here's the answer to that question. The amount of your down payment, it depends on, the amount of your down payment depends on, excuse me one second, my lender's actually calling me. I guess he didn't tune into my Facebook Live. But the amount for your down payment is dependent upon your income, right? Your credit score, and the amount of debt that you're carrying on the credit report. So, you know, most home buyers gravitate towards FHA, which stands for Federal Housing Administration. So what that means is you're able to qualify for a loan with as little as 3.5% down, right? So the amount of the down payment, it just depends on the type of financing. Is it FHA? Is it conventional? Is it VA? Is it hard money or private lending, right? It really just depends on the dynamic. But most home buyers start out with 3.5% down, which is an FHA type of financing. And then of course you have your closing costs. So closing costs are gonna run anywhere from 4% up to 8%. That's typically what your closing costs will run you. All right, another question. Type of properties, right? So what I'm noticing now is the homes that we are selling are typically in need of repair. So a lot of the homes that are on the market are in need of some upgrades because a lot of people have owned them for years and they haven't done anything over the years. And that's typical in this market. As is, some people have questions about what an as is property is, or what does it mean to purchase a property as is. So as is means it is in its current condition, right? So this is the state of the property, the condition of the property that I want to purchase. And the seller says, well, I'm selling it as is and I don't want to make any repairs. And that's fine, right? Every seller has a right to do that. But as is simply means that you are accepting the property in its current condition. However, if it does need repairs, major repairs, that is, then the seller might be open to providing a credit on making the repairs. So that's all as is means. Another question, are there any special grants or programs that are available for me? Yes. The city offers grants for first-time home buyers. So does the county, and so does other programs. And some of the lenders also work with Fannie Mae that offers you grant programs, and they're able to give you subsidies to assist you in purchasing a home. So always, explore the options that are available to you when it comes to the county, the city, the state has programs as well as private organizations also offer lending grants for people that are purchasing for the first time. So if you send me your email or send me a text, I'll be able to share a link with you for those particular types of programs. Any questions? Anyone has any questions at this time? And I can continue with the ones that you guys sent. All right. How do I know if I can get a loan? All right, we talked about that. What does it take to apply for a loan? We covered that. Okay, here's another one. The condo market. So somebody wanted to know, how do I qualify for a condo versus qualifying for a townhome? And that's a great question as well. So here's the thing with the condo market. So the condos, or any home, any home that's in a community that has rules and regulations and is in an association, will have a set of guidelines that must be followed. So some of the associations, require a certain credit score requirement. Some of them have income requirements that as a new home buyer, you will have to meet those requirements. And in order to tell you what the requirements are, I have to look at every single community, because every community has their own requirement, right? So there's no one-stop answer for what does it take for me to be able to purchase a condo in Pembroke Pines versus being able to purchase a condo in Miramar. So every single condo is different, and within the community, they have different rules. Okay, I have a question here. So what happens if I want to purchase in a 55 and over community, and my husband is not 55, right? So here's what happens. So if you're purchasing in a community that is in a 55 and over community, and one spouse is not 55 or over the age of 55, each community has their own requirements. So what will happen is, depending on the community itself, you might still be able to purchase in that particular community, but we would have to review the guidelines to tell you definitely if you and your spouse will be able to qualify. So a perfect example is Sunrise Lakes. So Sunrise Lakes is one of the largest condo communities in Broward. And within Sunrise Lakes, they have different requirements for different buildings. So we'd have to review which building you're interested in to tell you whether you and your spouse would be able to qualify. Okay. How do I know? Okay. How do I know if the community has the reserves? So reserves, that's a lending term. So what happens is a lot of the lenders want to know that a community has money set aside in order to be able to feel comfortable lending in the community, right? So what happens is reserves is something that a lender seeks out to be able to offer a loan in a particular community. So that's where reserves come in. Okay, if I purchase a rental property in a community, will I be able to rent it right away? Okay, so good question. So for my investors, whether or not you have the ability to rent in a particular community depends on the community itself and what the rules and regulations are. Sometimes you're in a community and what happens, because someone has lived there, they're grandfathered in, meaning they already have met the association requirements for being able to rent there because they've been there a long time. Okay, someone just said I'm in Hollandale. Okay. All right, so and yes, and in Hollandale, they have a lot of those requirements too. A lot of the condos, the high rises in Hollandale have the 55 and over requirements as well as the renter requirements. So your ability to be able to rent in a community depends on what the rules and regulations are for that particular, not just the community, but for the building itself. All right, so that would be something we'd have to tailor a specific plan to determine whether or not you can rent in that community. All right. If I have an FHA mortgage currently, will I be able to purchase another property using FHA financing? So good question. The answer to that is you could only, and if any of my loan officers are on the call, they can answer that better than I can. But the rule that I know of is that you can only own one FHA loan at one time. So if you currently have an FHA loan, then you are required to sell that property to be able to use FHA financing. All right. So I'm just being joined by Mrs. Green, who brought a list of questions. Morning, Mrs. Green. How are you? You sure you don't want to be on camera?
Not really.
All right. So Mrs. Green she brought the additional questions for us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ooh. Yes.
Would you like some water?
No.
Okay. Mrs. Green, you should be on camera looking fabulous in your green. All right. What are our questions?
Well, as we know, realtors are expert in helping, clients through the right houses
Yes.
to call their home.
Yes, ma'am.
But I will get some clarification on these, the different loans that is given to, if you can just expound on these loans or explain the differences between these loans. You have the traditional loan.
Yes.
Can you give me a little explanation?
Sure. So I'm not sure if you guys were able to, you heard the question. So Mrs. Green asked about the difference between the traditional loans versus the more conventional type of loans.
And
So
FHA loan.
and FH. Okay, so
Modified loan.
modified loan. Oh, good question. That one, yeah, that's a good one as well. So FHA is stands for Federal Housing Administration. So that loan caters to typically the first-time home buyer that where they are allowed to put as little as 3.5% down. Now that is their down payment. They still have to come up with their closing costs, which can be anywhere from 5 to 8% of the loan, meaning whatever they are qualified for, they have to bring the additional amount for their closing costs, right? So their down payment, however, is 3.5% down. So that's a government insured loan. So in that particular loan, there are guidelines that they must meet in terms of their credit score requirements and their debt. So debt meaning the amount of bills that they have on their credit report in relation to their income. So that's the more traditional type of financing. 80% of the home buyers today purchase homes using FHA. So FHA is very, very popular, and it caters to about 80% of the first-time home buyers. Then you have conventional. So conventional is when someone is putting anywhere from 3% down up to the sky's the limit, 20%, 10%. Now, most people that purchase in a community, in like a condo, for instance, would be required to put use conventional financing where they have to put between 5 to 20% down. And 5% to 20% is of the amount that the lender says you can qualify for. All right, so that's how that works. So then you have VA. So if you are a veteran, yeah, so if you're a veteran, so they allow you to also be able to purchase with a very, very, very little down in terms of your down payment and even your closing costs. And that's one of the benefits of being a veteran. So you have the FHA, VA, conventional, and then you also have private, so or what we call hard money lending, which will allow you to purchase a property. Most private lenders require about 45% as a down payment. So that's a more non-traditional way of purchasing a home. Yeah.
So the modified one, was it explained?
Good. No, I did not explain the modified. So a modified loan is when you already own a home and you want to have the terms of the loan modified. So we call it like it's a loan modification loan, where that is something you go directly to your lender that you currently have. You already own the home. And let's say you're experiencing hardship, or let's say you're behind on the mortgage, or you just want to restructure the terms of the loan. You go directly to your lender and you ask them to offer you a loan modification, and then they will send you a package to complete where you would fill that out and then send that in to them, and they will restructure the terms of your loan. Yeah, so always, so if you're on the call and you're having trouble with your loan, there are options. I mean, there are definitely ways that you can keep your home. You don't have to, walk away from your home completely or be afraid that you're going to lose your home. You can apply to the lender and ask them for a loan modification to restructure it. And in most cases, they're willing. They're willing to help you with your loan. The banks are not in the business to take your home, guys. They really do want to work with you and to help you. I personally have been through loan modifications, and they will work with you to try and help you keep your home. Yeah.
So modifying a loan, is it what would I say? It's like another mortgage, isn't it?
Correct. It is another mortgage because they are changing the terms of the mortgage. They're changing the terms of the current mortgage. So they're giving you another mortgage to replace that mortgage that you were doing. There's also equity lines of credit that can become second position that people can apply for. But a loan modification just changes the terms of your existing mortgage. Yeah.
Well, I'm here to find out about just some for you to explain first time home buyers and those who want to sell their home, to move on either to buy another one or whatever that is needed. All right, but this one question is, how do you know as a first time you're ready to buy a home? How do you know?
How do you know? Good question. So how do you know when you're ready to buy a home, right? So most people start the home buying process just by kind of, maybe the rent is too high and they figure now it's time for me to own a home. I've been renting for a long time. Or they reach a place in their life where they just want space for the family and they want the kids to have space, or they want their pets to have room to run around, or they just want to change in what they currently have in their life. So they decide, you know what, today's the day. I'm gonna reach out to somebody and I'm gonna call a realtor, calling me, and then they're gonna speak to a lender, a loan officer that will help them to structure a loan that's specifically for them. And I'll be honest, in most cases when home buyers start out, I was just sharing the experience, but I had a young couple where it took them 3 years to be able to purchase. So it's not always I'm ready and I'm going to purchase a home now and I'm going to get the keys and everything is go. No. In the process of real estate, in the cycle of the real estate, or should I say in the real estate world, it takes time sometimes, and you're not always going to be ready, and you're going to have credit challenges, and you're not going to have the money, but you know you want to buy the house, or you're working at a job and maybe the income isn't enough and you just feel like it will never happen. And I'm just here to say, guys, it doesn't always happen where you're ready and everything else falls into place. I can tell you personally, when I first started in this business, my credit score was 490. Yes, 490. And the reason it was 490, I won't get into the personal part, but the reason it was 490 is because I co-signed for people that I just should not have, and I didn't know. I didn't know the importance of protecting the credit. So it took years to build it to the level that I wanted it to be able to purchase my first home, which was a condo, and I went through challenges there. So I just want to remind you guys that not every Facebook post that we do with the happy couple and the family, or the single guy with the keys and they just woke up and decided today was the day and everything went smoothly. No, there are challenges that will come up, and people do experience setbacks in the process, but it is a process. And I promise you, if you're serious about owning a home, or if you're serious about selling a home, we will provide you with a plan that will get you from A to Z. And it won't always be easy, but I promise you it'll always be worth it. Always, always be worth it. Yeah, so to be able to maneuver through the real estate process, it takes time. I mean, we don't put that out there on Facebook all the times. I know in real estate we kind of make it seem like everybody has the keys and we put the happy person in front of the house. But for every happy person, there's a sad person that it just didn't work out. But like I said, don't give up, and there is a process, and sometimes the process takes longer for some people, more so than others.
If when they pull your your credit, does the different company give the same number on your credit report?
That is a great question. I hope you guys heard that. So Mrs. Green says, when they pull your credit, does the same credit company, do they all report the same score? And the answer to that is no. The answer is no. So for instance, let's say your credit card company monitors your credit score and they provide you with a score. That score is going to be different from the other bank that reports your credit. That score is going to be different from the auto loan company that pulls your credit. And it's going to be different from the mortgage person that pulls your credit. So it is not the same. So what a lender looks for is they're looking for the middle score to be I don't want to give an exact amount because the lenders can speak to that. The higher the credit score, the better. They like to see it above a 640. If I have to give you a score, then that's the score I would give you. However, there are people that are able to purchase a home with credit scores less than 640, but everything else has to line up, right? So it cannot be where the score is at one level and then the income is at one level and then the debt is at another level. So it has to be where they all match up or they all line up. Yeah, it cannot be, but each person or each company or each industry that pulls your credit can report a completely different score. Yes, why is that? They use a different system, a different metric in order to come up to evaluate your credit. That's why. So it's not always the same. And I always say every 6 months you should review your credit, regardless of whether you're buying a home right now, regardless of whether you're thinking about selling. You should know what's on your credit report. Like when you meet with a loan officer or meet with somebody or someone, they should not surprise you with your credit report. You're supposed to be able to say, you know what? I know my score. I mean, I could, like I said, I started at 490. So knowing your score should be that one piece of the puzzle that you can do, because everybody can do that. You can go to myfico.com and get a copy of it, myannualcreditreport.com. You can go to your bank. So you should at least know your score and know what's on your credit report. That's at the bare minimum. Doesn't matter if you're purchasing a home or not, because you can have incorrect things on your credit report that shouldn't even be there, right? So definitely get a copy of your credit report.
So your credit also has something to do with the percentage that is charged. That when you decide when you're buying the house, does it how would I put it now? It based on the report that is reported, that is how they deal with the percentage of the loan.
Yes. So depending on your score, that determines your interest rate.
Interest
Percentage.
rate,
No, you said it right. So percentage is the same interest rate. So every when you're working on the credit score, the higher the score, the lower the interest rate, right? In most cases, the higher the score, the lower interest rate that you'll pay, and your interest rate determines your payment. So it's in your best interest to make sure that your score is at a level that you can have the lower interest rate. Now, having said that, another question that I got was, well, how do I raise my score? What do I do? How do I get my credit to the way that I want it to be? Sometimes it's not that you pay bills, you don't pay them on time. Sometimes, honestly, it's because you don't have enough credit, right? So you don't have enough what we call trade lines or enough types of credit on the report. Or some people, prefer cash. Some people don't like to run up debt. Some people say, you know what, I pay everything cash. So there was that old saying where bad credit is better than no credit. And the reason, well, I think the reason is because with bad credit, they know how to monitor you. With bad credit, they know how you pay your bills, right? But when you pay in cash, you don't have any credit. There's no way to monitor you. Some people say, well, you know what? I only make X amount, and my income is not what I want it to be. It's quote unquote too little or not enough. What do I do? So here's the trick to that. So if your income is at a certain level, right, then let your debt be at that level. So if the income is here, don't have the debt here or have the debt here. So that the debt should be so low that even when they qualify you, the income is sufficient to cover the debt, because that's what they're looking to do. They're not looking for you to make a certain amount of money to put you into, a house. They just want to know that you're able to pay your bills and how you pay it. So if you know that your income is a certain amount, then let's work on the debt. Let's work on paying down the amount that you owe, because that you can control, right? You may not be able to control how much money you make right now, but you can control your debt.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay, you mentioned about the VA. So the VA loan,
VA. Yes, the Veteran Administration. Yes.
Yeah, that loan, you said you can pay less than the FHA, the percentage down on your home. I was supposed to ask you that before.
Yes, and I'll double check with my lenders. I don't remember what the down payment exactly is for the veterans for VA, but I know with the VA, the amount that you have to come up with out of pocket is less than FHA.
FHA,
Correct. Yeah. I think it's 3% for the down payment, but again, don't quote me on that. Let my lenders do what they do best, and they can definitely advise you exactly what that amount would be.
Okay, so what if you put down a little more than, all right, so you decide to go through with the FHA.
Yes.
If you decide to pay a little more than the 3%, will it affect your, when I mean affect it, will it make your monthly mortgage payment a little less?
Yes. So the more you put down, guys, the more you're able to use as a down payment means you're financing less. So if even at but FHA, you can put 5%, 10, 20%
Yeah,
down
right,
FHA.
yeah.
Yeah, so yes, so that would be
one a little more.
yeah, so that would definitely allow you to be able to have lower payments because you're
Lower
financing
payments,
less.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, lower payment.
definitely.
What are the homeowners' tax benefits?
Oh, good one. So the tax benefits. So you get to write off the mortgage interest, right? You have the opportunity to some of the closing costs that you pay in order to purchase the home. Some of those are tax deductible, right? And studies have shown, and they have the statistics to show that when you are a homeowner, you end up having more deductions and more tax benefits because of the home ownership, because you get to write off a lot more in the like your tax returns. So yes, tax-wise, home ownership is a better option because renting from a tax perspective, right, has no tax benefits whatsoever. So always home ownership will trump renting when it comes to taxes. Yes. And homeowners tend to be happy people. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, you'll be happy whether you're renting or whether you own a home. Happiness, you take it with you wherever you go. So it doesn't matter if you're renting or you own a home. That happiness is yours.
Also, you can rent with the option to buy.
Good question. Okay, so here's the story on renting with the option to buy. The rent with the option to buy or lease purchase or lease with option to buy became a popular strategy years ago when homeowners were trying to sell their home, but they couldn't find enough buyers that were able to purchase the home, or people just weren't in a financial position to do that. So what they would do is say, okay, I'll rent you this home. The rent is typically a little bit more than normal. And what they're supposed to do is take a portion of the rent and set it aside to be able to use it for your down payment and your closing costs in the future. So with the rent own, you can have a predetermined price, and you decide on the price and the terms for the future when you purchase the home. Rent to own is not as popular as it was back, 15, 10 years ago, because now the market is such a thriving market that if a seller really wants to sell, they place their home on the market and it's pretty much sold rather quickly. So rent to own only became popular because people weren't able to sell their home and buyers or tenants weren't in a position to purchase yet. So rent to own is not as popular as it was about 10, 15 years ago. Every now and then we'll see a few, but it's not a popular part of the market as it was then. I personally have my feelings about rent to own, but by all means, review the terms and see if the terms are favorable to you, and if it is, go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
What's the difference between pre-qualified and pre-approved?
All right. So pre-qualified versus pre-approved. So one, pre-qualified means you may have had an initial conversation with a lender, and they may have reviewed some of your documents and decided, based on the preliminary work, you are able to purchase a home. A pre-qualification is a pre-approval is when they go into more detail. They've reviewed the tax returns, they look at the bank statements, they've verified some of your employment documents, and they're able to say, you know what, with a higher level of certainty that this person only needs to find a home, and we have the ability to underwrite this loan and actually give them the funds to purchase this home. So one is the preliminary, and it's not in depth. And I personally only work with people that are pre-approved, not pre-qualified. And the other one, the pre-approval, means they've had an in-depth conversation and they're just really waiting for a home. That's the only thing that they need. That they don't need, further verification because they had the initial conversation with a lender. Yeah, but always a good, like I said, speak to the lenders and get maybe more than one opinion to see what your options are. That's always a good idea, right?
Okay. What are HUD homes? The odd homes, are they a good deal when buying a home?
A HUD home. Okay, so HUD stands for Housing and Urban Development. So these are the homes, the foreclosed homes that are held by the government, right? And whether or not it's a good deal for you or good buy just depends on the property. So foreclosures represent about 8% of our entire market, meaning there are only, of all the homes that we have currently available for sale, only 8% of those are through foreclosure. So from a percentage wise, we don't have a lot of those deals, only because the market is we're in a thriving market now that we don't have a lot of foreclosures. But if you do come across one, it's like any other property where if the price is what you think is fair, and I can assist you with that in terms of pricing, if the condition of the property is beneficial to you, then by all means, whether it's a foreclosure, short sale, or a traditional sale, go for it. Yeah, there are some benefits to the foreclosures only because then, the HUD makes it available on their website. But the misconception that I'm going to get a deal because it's a foreclosure, that within itself is not sufficient. Those days are gone. In terms of just buying it because it's a foreclosure and it's a deal, no. That's not what we're seeing because we just don't have enough inventory in the foreclosure market to make it such a steal of a deal.
Okay, can you become a home buyer even if you have a bad credit and don't have much to pay down?
Yes, you can still become a home. So the question was, can you still become a home owner if you have bad credit and you don't have the money to put down or a lot to put down? So yeah, so credit is something that's always a work in progress, right? If I pull my credit today, it's different tomorrow. It was different last week because the amount of balances that I carry, they're different, right? So your credit score changes every day. So if you have bad credit today, doesn't mean you have to have bad credit next week when they pull the credit, or it doesn't mean that you will continue to have bad credit. It's just a matter of what's on the credit report and what we need to work on in order to bring it up to the standard that we need it to be. So yes, you can still purchase with bad credit as long as we work on the bad credit, right, and make it better credit, right? And as far as the down payment, there are grants out there, and if you guys send me your phone number and your email, I can share some links with you for some of the city grants, some of the county grants, and some of the programs that are out there. Lenders have programs too that assist with down payment assistance. Now, let me just say this. Assistance with the down payment or the closing costs is just that. It is assistance. It still means you have to come to the table with some of your own money. They're just assisting you with some of the money that you may need, right? You still have to bring your portion of the funds, right? They're just giving you maybe some of the extra boost that you need to make it work. So
Yeah, because I was just about to ask you, is there a special program for home ownership grant or program for single parent? Because you have couples and then you have some single parent. I don't know if the government has any grant for people who are single parents.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so single parents or single income earners, right? Because you can be married and only one spouse has the income sufficient to qualify, or only one spouse has the credit to be able to qualify, or you're a single parent, or you're a single person with no children. So so I call them single income earners. And the last 4 people that I was able to help with a home, they were all single income earners. They were all able to qualify on their own to be able to purchase their home. So yes, single income earners, you can still qualify. You don't need to have, two incomes in a household to be able to purchase a home. And, I've had my customers from, Sharon from, well, I don't want to say where she works, but she was able to purchase. And what she did was she drew from her 401k. I had another client, what they did was they, what island people call their partner, the ASU, their draw. And that's how they were able to, she was able to come up with her down payment. I had another Larry, who was able to purchase, and he was able to do it because he had some money set aside that he had been saving for like 4 years, right? But single dad, and he was able to purchase. So yes, it's possible with a single income. There's nothing that out there that says you have to have two incomes to purchase a home. No, that's not the case. The last four homeowners that I was able to help were all single income earners. And it took a little bit longer for some to save the money or get the credit ready or to borrow against their 401k or get their partner draw, their ASU draw, but they were able to do it and they just had a plan in place to get it done. Yeah.
Okay, you have some money and then you decide, say, okay, I can get out. Is it a must to use a real estate broker? Is it a must?
Is it a must to use a real estate broker to purchase a house? Yes. Yes. If it's one thing I can tell you honestly, and I am not saying this because I am a broker associate, I am stating it because it is such a crucial part of the puzzle. When you have a great realtor, and I'm not just saying it because I am a great realtor, I'm also saying because some of you are working with great realtors. When you have a great realtor that has your back and that's willing to put in the legwork for you and to do all the work that you could not possibly ever know how to get the work done, that person is a treasure, because a great realtor is going to give you resources. They're going to give you lenders. They're going to be able to foresee challenges that you won't even see coming. And I promise you, I'm not saying it because I'm a broker associate. I am saying it because I believe it. I believe that when you have a great team in place, a realtor that has your back and that will go to the ends of the earth for you, that's a relationship that will continue to build. Because as a profession, we are held in high regards with the state. We're licensed and we have to go through all these certificates and tests, and we have to make sure we're okay with the state. But on a personal level, when we decide that we're going to go into real estate, it's because we really care about the clients that we represent, and we really want to see you guys in the position that you say you want. And we're your advocate, right? I'm a home ownership advocate. I believe that people should have the right to own a home if that's what they choose, and people should have an investment property if that's what they really want. Or you know what, people should rent the property that they really want, but be able to pay a fair rent, right? So I don't want you to think it's just, I mean, although it's a home ownership webinar, but the reality of it is some people don't want to own a home, and that's fine. If you decide to rent, I can still help you to make sure that you're still paying the fair amount of rent that you should be paying, right? So a real estate agent is the key to the entire puzzle. And I can tell you, we are the advocate and we're the glue that keeps the entire puzzle together. Yes, I could go on and on about this because I believe it. And if you're working with a great realtor right now, call them, text them after my webinar. Call them and text them and tell them thank you, because it is also a profession where we sometimes don't get the appreciation that we should. And sometimes we do. We get clients like Mrs. Green was a client of mine and she became my friend. So it's a labor of love that we bring to you guys, that we love to see you shine. We're cheering for you guys, and we want to see you achieve the home ownership, or we want to help you to be able to sell your home. For instance, last night I had an appointment with a seller that's selling to move to Atlanta, and they're just a different chapter in their life. And I won't call her name, but they are so excited to be able to begin this new chapter. So it's not just about selling a home. It's not just about selling that property for you. we get to experience the ups and downs that you guys go through. We become a part of your family, you become a part of our family, and we share in the experiences that you have. So if you have a great realtor, I honestly, that's the one piece of the puzzle that I'm gonna tell you, do not do not purchase a home or sell a home without a realtor. And I'm not just saying it, yes, I want you to call me, of course. But even if you don't call me, call a licensed realtor that is an advocate for you in every way, shape, form, because it's priceless. All right, I'm done. I plug my profession enough.
Okay. So, are you approved by the bank or by the realtors, or you check it out based on the credit? Because how do you know if you can get a loan? You're pre-approved. Is it pre-approved to the bank, or how do you get
Good question. Good question. So you can be pre-approved through your bank. You can be pre-approved through your credit union. You can be pre-approved through a local lender. I personally think that's a better option, only because a local lender knows the marketplace, and they know what to look out for in order to protect you. So I'm an advocate for my local loan officers that are on the ground every day. They know what's happening in the city. They know what's happening in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County, St. Lucie County, which are the counties I cover. And they're so plugged in to what's happening that I just don't know if an outside lender would be able to assist you the same way. But always work with someone who's smart and willing to find a way to help you. Whether you're buying or selling, like me. I'm plugging me. But no, but always work with somebody who goes the extra mile. Like I go the extra mile. My appointment last night was from 6 to 9. We were really done within the first 45 minutes, but you know what? I wanted to get to know them a little bit more. And I wanted to spend some time and really get to understand what's important to them, because I never want to disappoint my clients. I always want to be in a position where I can help you navigate this real estate puzzle in the best possible way. And what better way to do that than to spend time with you, right?
So, the realtor normally have a listing of lenders when buying a home, or you can or you can check with your bank, or
Do they
with
have
your
a list?
credit union. Do you have a listing?
I have a list of, yes, I have a list of, thanks for bringing that up, because I know I'm talking a lot about the lenders, but I have a list of vendors that cover lending.
Vendors.
Yes, they cover lending, they cover, I have handymen, honest handyman, honestly, I can say that, honest handyman. I have painters, I have my termite people, I have my pest control, I have plumbers, electricians, I have general licensed contractors, I have roofers, I have people that will cover you from every aspect of a home, right? So if you ever need a list of quality people, let me know. Movers, right? I have movers that are in the business. And if you're on the the Facebook Live and you have a business that you'd like for me to know about or promote, let me know. Send it to me and I'll be more than happy to share your business for sure.
Okay. In addition to the mortgage payment, what other costs do I need to consider?
Okay. In addition to
the mortgage payment,
okay.
What other costs do I need to consider?
Okay. So in addition to the mortgage payment or the closing costs?
They said what the question is about the mortgage payment.
Mortgage payment.
After your closing clause, and I know you know what the payment is.
Yes.
So what other additional costs you have to will be added to that, because sometimes when you after closing, then this was not this isn't mentioned to you, and then after it is after the fact.
Right. Okay. So I hope you guys heard the question. So what additional costs do you incur after you close on your mortgage, or you have your mortgage? So okay. So some people say, well, my mortgage payment is this, and all of a sudden it went up. What happened? Did my interest rate change? No, it could have been where your property taxes have increased. That's normally the biggest reason, and the homeowner's insurance. So if there's an increase in the taxes and the homeowner's insurance, yes, you will experience an increase in your mortgage payment. So my rule is this, and I share this with all my clients. Ms. Green can tell you, every 6 months to 12 months, you should review your homeowner's insurance policy in terms of what credits you're getting, what discounts. You should, I have home inspectors that can help you. You should get a inspection done, wind mitigation, done to make sure that you're getting all the credits that you're supposed to have for your homeowner's insurance, because that's going to assist you with keeping the mortgage payment low or lower, right? Property taxes. Now, the thing about property taxes, other than helping you to apply for your homestead exemption, there's not a lot, honestly, that I can do to help you with the property taxes, because, they are, according to what the county says they should be. But you are capped, right? Meaning your property taxes will never increase beyond 3% per year, as long as you have the homestead exemption. You only have to file it once. Once you file it that one time, it stays there. It doesn't go away until you transfer it or move to another property. So homeowners insurance and property taxes are the things that will cause your property, your mortgage payment to increase after you purchase a home. Yeah.
So what will the mortgage covers? Because some people escrow for the taxes and their homeowners insurance. So can you separate them, or can you just make that part of your?
It depends on the loan that you got, whether or not you can separate. So the question is, can you separate the mortgage payments, the taxes from the insurance? It depends on the way the lender structured your loan. That's going to determine whether or not you can separate them. Some people are okay with having everything taken out every month. Some people are more disciplined. They can pay themselves. It just depends on the lender, how it was structured, and depends on if you are able to refinance, and you can change those terms. Like for instance, in where we are. So my office is in Pembroke Pines, and the average sales price out here is about 370,000 sales price. So, when you're talking about structuring for taxes and insurance, that's a huge part of your mortgage payment, and it's a part of a huge part of the mortgage payment for anybody. It doesn't matter what your price point is. So I would encourage you to definitely look at what the insurance is, and you can control that more so than you can control the taxes. You can't really control your property taxes, but as a whole, the market is booming, guys, and if you're thinking about selling or purchasing, look into it. I'm not saying that you have to jump into the market right now, but definitely it's such a fantastic market that you should want to know what's happening, right? You should want to know what the homes are selling for. You should want to know how a new development will affect your property value. I looked at they're building some new homes up in Tamarack near the Woodlands, the Enclave, and those are in the low 400s to the high 400s. They're beautiful. 3-4 bedrooms, 2,000 square feet, brand new. I mean, we haven't had that type of new construction in a long time, right? So you should be excited about the market, because I am. I mean, it's a fantastic market. It's a great time to get in. Interest rates are super, super low, and sellers are definitely giving credits, which 6 months ago that was not the case. So it's just a sign of the times that we are experiencing a wonderful real estate market.
So when you find a home, how much should you offer? Okay, so for instance, you get a home for around in the four, well, between from 3 up to 5,000.
Right.
The mortgage ranges would be from, is it the mortgage is based, as I did ask before, is based on how much you put down, so that monthly. Yeah, because normally if a home and you put on a 3% and it's around say 350, 400,
Right.
just roughly how much a mortgage like this, including the taxes and
insurance.
So on. Yeah.
So okay, for instance, so I have a young couple starting out. They're purchasing a home in Miramar. So their purchase price is about 360. So for them, with their down payment, with their mortgage payment is roughly, and again, I'm saying roughly because remember it's based on their credit, their income. So their payment is going to be a little under 2,400 per month, and that's their principal, interest, their taxes, and insurance. So on 360 for that particular home, they are able to purchase that home for a monthly mortgage payment of 2,400.
What percent?
They're putting 3.5% down. They're FHA.
No, what they put, not what they put down, what the percentage that is offered to them.
Oh, the interest rate?
Yeah, interest
okay, so
rate.
their interest rate on that is they're getting, I want to say 4%.
Okay,
I want to say 4% FHA. But again, credit income will determine that, but roughly 4% as their interest rate, putting 3.5% down.
Okay.
So their closing cost, like totally for them, they would be bringing a little under 30,000, give or take, roughly about 30,000. Again, remember, it depends on the taxes and the insurance of that particular home. And I was able to negotiate some credits for them from the seller as well. So they were able to get an additional 9,000 in credits for that home. So I saved them 9,000 in closing costs and credits just by negotiating with the seller's realtor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So so you approved, you got the house and whatever, you know. I'm ready now for closing. Is it okay for you to hire a lawyer when closing?
Oh, that's a good question. So I don't know if you guys heard. So is it necessary to hire an attorney or lawyer when going to the closing? The answer is it depends on you. If you have legal representation, independent of what's being offered by the title company or the attorney's office that's handling the purchase or the sale, and by all means, yes, have your legal counsel represent you. But I can say honestly that when you're purchasing or selling a property or a home, the title companies do have, or the attorney's offices do have to adhere to strict guidelines. So they do legally protect all parties involved. But like I say, if you feel that having additional representation benefits you, by all means, seek additional legal counsel. I will never discourage anyone from having their attorney present. Now, can't have too many attorneys, right?
Okay, that part of it with buying a home. Now, you already have a home and you decide you want to sell and put it on the market. Is there you hire a realtor? How would you have to come in to talk to the homeowners and what the different enhancement in order to attract a buyer?
Good question, and that's a large part of what I was doing last night with Tamika and her daughter. So yeah, so when I decide to meet with a prospective home owner and we're considering selling, I always ask them to put a buyer's hat on because they are selling their home, but the home is going to be seen through the eyes of a buyer. So I ask them to switch hats so that they can look at it with me the way that a potential buyer would see the home. So I would recommend enhancements. I would recommend, some things that would assist them in being able to make the home more appealing, make the home more attractive through the eyes of a buyer. And I know, everybody's home is their safe place, and some people are very sensitive about, their home. And everyone's home is beautiful. Everyone's home is perfect. Let me just say that. What I simply recommend would just be enhancements that will entice a buyer to choose your home over the other hundreds, if not thousands of homes that they can potentially see. So enhancements are just that. They're just recommendations. And when we come in and we offer you advice, it's just to assist you to have a buyer choose your home versus the other homes that's on the market. And I'll be honest, my home needs enhancements. Everyone's home needs enhancements. So it's given in the spirit of love, always love. I always come from a place of contribution and love. So if I make a recommendation, I promise you it's just to assist you in getting to the next chapter of your life.
is this enhancement based on how much you would like to sell the house for? So what if you decided you want to sell it as is without any enhancement?
Good one. And that you definitely have that option. So selling it as is with no enhancement is an option. Like everything else, it's also the option of the buyer to not want your home because it's in a certain condition, right? So everyone has an option. So I always say, is the option that you want to maintain, is it worth it for you not to be able to attract a buyer that's going to come in and just be able to love on your home the way you were able to love on your home? So enhancements are definitely by no means a requirement to selling your home, but it does make it more appealing. It does provide curb appeal. It separates you from the others. Like me personally, when I work with a seller, I always want you to be ahead of the market. I never want you to be chasing behind the market. I never want you to be in a position where now your home is not selling and it's because of a little bit of enhancement. So staging is something that we also recommend. We can have one of my stages come in and they can assist in having your home stage. A fresh coat of paint goes a long way. Just a fresh coat of paint. Removing some of the items and decluttering the home speaks volumes, because people, here's the thing, what a lot of homeowners don't realize: when someone comes into your home, they want to visualize themselves in your home. So if it appears that it has a lot of things in it, then what a buyer starts to think, and I'm blessed because I get to work with both buyers and both sellers, so I get to see both sides of the equation. So when a buyer comes in and they say, oh my goodness, they have a lot of stuff, and what they start to visualize is, well, if you don't have enough space for your own items, how am I going to have to fit my items in this space? I'm not going to have enough space either. So that's where it becomes a little bit of a dance, right? Where the buyer would love to visualize themselves in the home, but they cannot. It's not easy for them to do so because there's so much stuff. And if these are things you're going to pack anyway, then why not just remove them or have them in a space that just creates an openness for a potential buyer?
So also, when selling, it's best to pack away things, leaving the house empty, or with you, because you mentioned about people have things, so much stuff all around the place.
Yes.
So is it best to leave it or pack away stuff for the buyer to be, and there's sometimes potential to, even
Yes.
although they may even not clutter or so, but they see potential.
Yes. So that's a good question. So I don't know if you guys heard. So the question is it better to have the home vacant or
Vacant.
or empty? Same, have the home empty versus having it filled with your personal items. And so here's the truth: you live in your home. So most people aren't in a position where they can move out of the home before they sell it. So the reality of it is you live in the home. So you're going to be there day in, day out. So leaving it empty or vacant or free of possessions is just not an option, right? It's the reality of it is it doesn't, it's probably not going to work. You probably need to sell this home to be able to make the move to get to the next chapter of your life. So if you have the means to leave it empty and vacant, of course, that would allow for the space to show a little bit easier. However, there are homeowners, there are home people that are looking to purchase a home that would like to visualize furniture in the home. So it can work in either direction. So the best of both worlds, you live in your home, but you still create the space and you still remove the items so that the home still shows as an open home. That to me is ideal.
But you also can have things in boxes,
You
so
can put
still
things
give you
away.
space.
Put things away. Yes. You can, and if you have pets, so and I get this all the time, people with pets. So here's what I say to that. I am as a former pet owner myself, I get it that you have your pet babies and your furry babies and you have your members of the family, because that's who they are. They're members of your family, right? So you might be accustomed to having the members of your family, the animal members of your family, be present in the home, which is fine. It is your home. Just realize that not everyone is going to be comfortable with your babies, right? Just like kids, not all home buyers are excited when they walk into a home and they see toys. They're not always excited. So it works in all directions. Not everyone is going to love the fact that you have toys all over, or love the fact that it's a kid-friendly home, or love the fact that it's a pet-friendly home. And there are people that would love to purchase a home that has pets and has a community that's pet-friendly, or has a community that's more catered towards kids. So everyone has a choice. Like I say, you live in a home, and the reality of it is still your home. So you're going to do whatever you feel is best. Just advising you in regards to how a potential home buyer is going to come in and view the home. But by all means, it's your home. Have your pets feel free to live in their home too. Have your kids be free to live in their home, because that is their home.
Okay. As a realtor, normally do you do researches on areas? Are you able to tell if the area is growing or slowing, or the area declining, whatever
Nice
word you
question.
say?
Yes. So as a local realtor, yes, I'm able to provide you insights on up and coming areas, and areas that are growing, and areas that are what we call in transit, or in what's another way to put it, up and coming. That's a popular one. Up and coming areas, right? So if you're not from the area, you're not local, then definitely I can assist you in learning the different parts of South Florida that would cater to what your life and what your style would need. So I'm able to not just provide you with the statistics for what's up and coming and what the sales are, but also just what's happening around town, like what new developments are coming, what activities are being planned for the city, what's up and coming. Look, we just had the Super Bowl. I mean, there are people that are still here that don't want to go home because they had such a fun time for the Super Bowl. So they want to make South Florida their home. We love that. Well, I wish the Super Bowl was here every year, because it provided such a vibrant, fun time for the city. It brought lots of people to South Florida. It brought lots of money to the city, and what city doesn't love money, right? So, and it brought just a vibrancy that we just didn't have before. We live in Miami, so we're accustomed to showing you a good time and making sure you feel like family. But the Super Bowl really took it over the edge, and we were so grateful for that opportunity, because it was a fun time. Yep. So if you're still here after the Super Bowl, or you want a home, call me. I can put you into a nice Super Bowl home.
So what are the process when marketing a home?
The process when marketing a home. So, okay, so I have a very, very detailed marketing plan that is custom prepared for you when marketing a home, and all the steps that I take when I'm selling a home. So, of course, I do professional photography. I offer staging. I have a pre-inspection that will kind of get a lot of the challenges out of the way, the potential challenges out of the way, right? I have the ability to have my vendors, my handyman, my roofers, my plumbers, my electricians come in and kind of give you guys. So if you're selling your home and you're open to receiving, some honest, and I'm always honest and upfront with my clients. That's the one thing you can count on that with me. I will always be respectful, and I always tell you the truth, right? So I offer a premium package that will, from the time of our initial consult to not even closing, to post closing. I mean, you need help with movers, you need help with getting some information for wherever it is that you're going. I have the ability, thanks to my Keller Williams family, I have the ability to network in almost every country to assist you. Right? And it can be something from not even real estate related. It could just be, I had Anthony, who they moved to the city, they moved to Sunrise from out of state, and he wanted a list of restaurants to take his wife for Valentine's Day. Yeah, and I offer that. So I can offer you services that don't, they're not just limited to real estate.
Yeah, as a real estate, I know you though. For you to just explain to the people online
Yes,
how what sets you apart from other real estate agents?
I love that. So what sets me apart from other real estate agents? I think for me, it's about the connection that I have when I decide that I'm going to work with someone. Because unlike some realtors, I don't, and let me put this, and again, this is with love, not everyone is going to be a fit for me, and I'm not going to be a fit for everyone. And I am completely, honestly okay with that. So what sets me apart is I can have an honest conversation with someone, and we can decide if us working together is going to benefit both of us, not just benefit me, not just benefit you. And I'm not afraid to say we're just not a fit, you know. And some realtors, you know, I love, you know,
Feeling you.
some realtors will work with anybody, and at the same token, some clients will work with any realtor. So it works both ways, and that's not me. I build a business on trust. I build a relationship based on what's mutually beneficial to all parties. I'm not interested in just selling your home or having you purchase a home with me and then we're done. I'm that realtor that I go to the baby showers. I go to the birthday parties. I'm getting the pictures from the delivery room. Like, yeah, I'm that realtor. I'm the one asking them to name the baby Michelle. And I mean that. So for me, it goes deeper than selling a house or helping you to buy a house. I'm looking to build a relationship with the people that I represent and the people that I work with. I want to be a part of the family, and I want you to be a part of my family. So I don't have clients, I don't have customers. I have new friends and I have old friends. I have people that have known me for a long time, and I have people that are just getting to know me. So what sets me apart is I am looking to make an impact in your lives, and I'm looking for you to make an impact in my life. And guess what? If I happen to sell you a house, or if I happen to help you to purchase a home, that's just a bonus. That's just something that comes along with having the connection and the relationship with you.
Yes, and also your recommendation and deal with some people are not, they're difficult. They're difficult. Your recommendation, how you can win them over.
Oh my goodness, I don't have difficult clients ever.
Okay, really good. You're pretty. So that's why.
Not being sarcastic. So difficult clients, right? So, I have to handle this one very carefully because my difficult clients might be listening. So the challenge comes with personalities. The challenge comes with being able to put ego aside, right? And I'm talking about my ego because, you know, my clients don't have ego issues. So my ego. So putting my ego aside to really do what's best for the client. And I've found that over the years, even the quote unquote difficult clients, I make a commitment to help you sometimes regardless of what you say after the fact. So in other words, I help you despite your worst efforts, right? So I found that someone being difficult is maybe under pressure or something, there's a life event happening that I may not be aware of. So I'm still sensitive to that because I'm committed to what it is you tell me you're committed to. So my commitment isn't in the current moment. My commitment extends to what you told me was important, and if that changes, then, you know, we adjust that and we make the change. But I'm committed to seeing you succeed, right, at what it is you tell me that I can assist you with. So the difficult clients are just the difficult clients are just there to provide me with a way to help me enhance myself. And I heard someone say this years ago, and I've never forgotten it. I observe and I don't absorb. So any difficult person or any this applies to my life. It's just not just a difficult client. This is a principle that I've applied to my life. just because I observe something, or I observe in my challenge to help people, it doesn't mean that I have to absorb it. So I don't have to absorb the negative attitude. I don't have to absorb the negative energy. I can observe it, but I don't have to absorb it, because I'm the eternal optimist, right? I always see the glass half full. I always see the better side, and I always see the best in people. And sometimes that gets me in trouble because people, don't always act in their best way. But I don't absorb the negativity. So if someone's being difficult or challenged, I just try to put my ego aside and just see what and how I can help them move forward, because it's not always about what's happening currently. There's some things that they can be experiencing that they haven't shared with me that could be causing them to act up. I don't take it personal. Now, doesn't mean I'm going to let them disrespect me. That's different. But I will always be respectful and mindful of what people are going through.
Okay. Okay, you decide to work with the Realtor. No, I know that you work with this company, but do you work with a team or you work individually?
Good question. So I have a team, right? I have a team of people that assist me in my day-to-day. However, the majority of the client care interaction and the client interaction is me. I am the person that you will deal with directly as far as the paperwork and as far as some of the administrative aspect of it. I will pass through to my coordinators, so they will definitely take care of that. This Facebook live is a result of Vern Cabana, my social media guru. She's in charge of all my marketing. She does all my posts. She does all my digital. Anything digital is because of Vern. And this very webinar is a result of her pushing me. I should say pushing me. Her encouraging me to do the webinar. So I do have a team in place that assists me, and they actually make sure that I do the things that I say I'm going to do, and they always offer me great advice. And Vern has been cheering for me from day one. So definitely, I have a great team in place. Yep.
Okay.
So we got another 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, this is another thing. What mistakes to avoid when you buy a house when closing? What mistakes to avoid?
The common mistakes when purchasing a home. Not getting a home inspection done, not being present for the home inspection, not having the conversation with your lender about what your payments are going to be. Definitely, people kind of brush over that. Not hiring the right realtor, yours truly, but not taking your time to really enjoy the process. I see a lot of people kind of rush through it, or they don't kind of take it slowly. One thing I can tell you, here at Keller Williams, my Keller Williams family, we are committed to seeing you through the process from beginning to end. So I think the common mistake that people make is they rush through the process and they just want to own a home, but they don't really sit and think about what it means to actually own a home, right? Things are going to break. Things are going to go down, go not work the way that they should. When I bought a property, a couple of years ago, I have the best in the business, the best inspectors, and I got it inspected. Everything was done. When right after closing, when the guys were painting, the AC stopped working. Things just happen. So I think the mistake that homeowners might make is they don't plan for those unforeseen challenges, right? So you always want to keep money aside. You always want to set money aside. Don't buy the house without having some money left over in your budget for repairs. Any other questions?
Yes, for instance, now when.
So we're going to wrap this up now, guys. We're going to have one or two questions and then one more and then we're done.
One or two, yeah. How will you keep that client informed, and how often will you keep them informed when you decide to either buy, sell, communication or the level?
Okay, that's a good question. So the question was, how do I communicate with the clients? What is my level of communication? Right, with the clients. So how do we communicate, right? So my communication style depends on what the client prefers. So some people are very hands-on. They want to know every aspect of what is happening, and if that is you, then that's what we do. We cater to what your communication style is. If you are more of the just let me know when it's important, then that's what we do. We cater to what is important to you at that time. So I build systems thanks to Michelle Reid Home Team and Keller Williams. We have systems in place that says we're going to communicate with you daily if that's what it requires, or every other day or every week. It just depends on how involved you would like to be in what we're doing. So I will communicate via text, via email, via phone call. I mean, I'm an old soul, so I like to actually have a conversation with people, but I realize not everybody wants to have a conversation. So again, what is your communication style? And whatever that style is how we approach communicating with you. Yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, when buying, selling a house, in whatever you do,
Yes.
you must first pray. Prayer
Yes.
is power.
Yes, it is.
And I think I can say attest to it with Miss Michelle. I think because all those stuff she mentioned, without prayer, and I pray for her. I know her, and we can communicate in whatever aspect or whatever situation, personally or business wise. And she's somebody, she give you that, so you're able to share things with her. So in whatever we do, purchasing whatever, going to the mall, going over, we need to pray, because you see the kind of world we are living in.
Yes.
And it's not just, the home is not yours, it's just managing. But it's nice when you have a roof, so you can build equity, or whatever you buy, you can put it against the house. But when you rent, that is not you're not able to do that. So with people wanting to buy a house or even selling, first you must pray about it, and if that's where you will get that spiritual leadership, because I am spiritually inclined in whatever I do.
Yes.
Pray, pray, pray.
Yes.
So whatever you do afterwards. So we continue to pray for realtors, especially for Miss Michelle and her team.
Yes.
And I thank her for the opportunity to I'm able to ask questions in regards to buying. And if we can make a difference, or I can make a difference based on the question that is asked, I thank the Lord for that.
Yes.
So thanks again for the
information. Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Green. Thank you. Thank you for always supporting me, and I couldn't have done it without you. I was here struggling without you, so I'm glad I'm glad you're here. All right, guys. So any other questions, concerns, just inbox me or send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll definitely be here to help you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday.